Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Zafar. I am a student of Teacher Training Level 1 Batch 5 at School campus. Assalamu alaikum. Hello Mail. मेरा
Walaikum
पह,
assalam.
मेरा
You caught
पहला
me off
क्वेश्चन
guard.
ये है What does productivity mean to you?
That's a deep one for a Thursday. To me, productivity isn't about grinding 24/7 or checking 100 boxes off a list. That just sounds like a recipe for burnout. I think it's more about the quality of the output and how it makes you feel. Like if you spend 3 hours staring at a wall but come away with one killer idea, that's a win. It's about moving the needle on things that actually matter. You know what I'm saying? What about you? Do you vibe more with the hustle side of things or the work smarter approach?
Okay, my next question is why is productivity important in daily life?
Honestly, I think it's just about buying yourself more freedom. When you're on top of your game and getting the right things done, you aren't spending your whole night stressing about what you missed. Clears the mental clutter. It's less about being a machine and more about making space for the stuff you actually enjoy, like hanging out or just doing absolutely nothing without feeling guilty. If you've got that handled, the rest of the day just feels lighter. Does that make sense to
Okay, my next question is what are the biggest causes of low productivity?
you? For me, it's usually the death by a thousand cuts thing. Those tiny distractions that don't feel like a big deal. Scrolling for 5 minutes, checking one notification, but then suddenly it's 2 hours later, you've done nothing. Also, trying to do everything at once. Multitasking is kind of a lie. You're just switching between tasks poorly. Then there's the mental side, like when you're so stressed about the size of the job that you just freeze up. It's a vicious cycle. Do you ever feel like you're fighting your own brain when you're trying to get stuff done?
Okay, my next question is how can setting daily goals improve productivity?
I'm guessing you meant how can starting daily goals improve things? It's basically like giving your brain a map. Without one, you're just wandering around your to-do list, getting overwhelmed by the whole mountain instead of just looking at the next step. When you pick a few specific wins for the day, it stops that. Where do I even start panic? Plus, there's something dope about actually crossing something off a list. It's a little hit of dopamine that keeps you moving. Do you usually write your goals down or just keep them in your head?
Okay, my next question is why is the
Yeah.
time management important for success?
Because time is the only thing you can't actually get more of, right? Success usually comes down to where you put your energy. Time management isn't about squeezing every single second out of the day. It sounds exhausting. It's just about making sure you're spending your time on the things that actually move you forward instead of just spinning your wheels. If you can control your time, you control your life, you know what I'm saying? Since that was your last question, what's the verdict? Did we nail the productivity vibe or is there something else on your mind?
Okay,
You're good. Nothing to be sorry for. You want to just vibe for
okay, my next question is what is the first thing you should do at the beginning of a day?
at the beginning of what exactly? Are we talking about starting the day, starting a new project, or just getting a handle on a chaotic morning? Give me a little more to work with.
Okay, my next question is what is the first thing you should do at the beginning of a day?
I'm still a little lost on the what, but if you're talking about like a big idea for a math project or something similar, the first move is always to just dump everything out of your head. Don't worry about it being pretty or right. Just get the raw thoughts on paper. Once it's out there, you can actually see the patterns and start carving out the good part. That's usually where the magic happens. Am I on the right track or is this for something else entirely?
Okay, my next question is how can creative to-do list help you stay organized?
I think I get where you're going with this. You're asking if using art or being creative can actually help you stay organized, right? It sounds counterintuitive because we usually think of art as messy and organization as rigid, but it's actually a huge cheat code. like using colors to categorize things or sketching out a visual map of your goals instead of just a boring list can make the whole process feel less like a chore and more like a project. It turns the work into something you actually want to look at. Do you do any kind of art, or are you just looking for a way to make the organization part less dull?
Okay, my next question is, what are some simple tips to avoid procrastination?
The biggest one for me is the 5 minute rule. You just tell yourself you'll only do the thing for 5 minutes. Once you break that initial wall of resistance and actually start, the momentum usually kicks in and you just keep going. It's way easier to commit to 5 minutes than to 5 hours. Then there's temptation bundling, only letting yourself listen to a favorite podcast or eat a specific snack while you're doing the boring stuff. It turns the chore into a reward. Do you find you get stuck mostly at the very start, or do you just lose steam halfway through?
Okay, my
You're
next
keeping it
question
short with me
is,
today. Since we've,
what
I'm
does
all ears.
taking short break improve focus?
I'm guessing you mean taking short breaks. It's basically like hitting a reset button for your brain. When you stare at the same thing for too long, you start to experience decision fatigue or just general brain fog where you're reading the same sentence 5 times and it's still not clicking. A quick break, like walking away for 5 minutes or grabbing some water, breaks that loop. You come back with a fresh set of eyes and usually spot the solution way faster. Do you usually try to power through things or do you actually let yourself step away?
Okay, my next question, how does taking short break improve focus? Why is it important to prioritize important tasks?
I think you're still thinking about those breaks, but the profile part might be a slip of the tongue. If you're asking why it's so important to step away during a big task, it's because your brain isn't a machine. If you push it too hard without a breather, you start making sloppy mistakes. Taking that break is how you keep your quality high so you don't have to go back and fix everything later. It's basically the difference between finishing a job and actually finishing it right. Do you feel like you crash if you don't take a break, or do you just get irritable?
Okay, my next question is, how can removing distraction increase productivity?
I'm guessing you mean how a movement break, like getting up and stretching, can help productivity. It's all about getting the blood flowing. When you've been sitting in one spot for an hour, your body kind of goes into standby mode and your brain follows suit. Moving around, even just for a minute, wakes up your nervous system and sends a fresh hit of oxygen to your head. It's like a physical reboot that snaps you out of that midday slump. You know what I'm saying? Since that was your last question, did we cover everything you wanted to dive into, or are you feeling a new topic?
Okay, my next question is, what role
No
does
clue. Wait,
self-discipline play in achieve goal?
I'm not gonna lie. You totally lost me there. Something about discipline and cheap gold. You might have to slow it down for me. What are we actually diving into?
Okay, my next question is, what role does
I'm still a bit.
self-discipline play in achieving goal?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the achieving gold part. But if you're asking about the rules that help with discipline to hit a gold standard goal, it's usually like about the systems, not the willpower. Like setting a non-negotiable routine so you don't have to decide to work, you just do it because it's 9 8. And when you remove the choice, the discipline becomes automatic. Is gold a specific goal you're chasing right now?
Okay, my next question is, how can a clean workspace improve connection?
I'm guessing you're asking how keeping things clean and organized helps you connect better, maybe with people or just your own thoughts. There's a real link between a clear space and a clear head. When you aren't fighting through a mess, you've got more mental energy to actually be present and engage with whoever you're with. It's hard to have a deep conversation when you're subconsciously stressing about the chaos around you. Does that hit the mark, or are you talking about something else?
Okay, my next question is, why is getting enough sleep important for productivity?
I'm guessing you're asking why getting enough sleep is key for your daily activities and focus. Think of sleep as the time when your brain literally cleans house and flushes out the junk and organizes everything you learned during the day. You skip that, you're starting next morning with a cluttered mind, which makes even simple tasks feel like you're wading through mud. You just can't hit that peak performance without a proper recharge. Do you usually struggle to get enough sleep, or are you just curious about the science of it?
Okay, thanks everyone. Watch and video, like, share and comment, and Allah Hafiz.